Hello and welcome to the 741 channel. Thank you for stopping by. Today we're going to be taking a look at this 2000 psi pressure washer that Powerworks sent me to review. Before I get started, I want to mention that this video is for reference only and not intended to take the place of your owner's manual. So make sure that you read through all of the recommendations, precautions, and warnings that are printed inside the owner's manual that comes with this unit. And at this point, I'll also mention that if you're interested in learning more about this unit, I'll leave an affiliate link down in the description below. So first up, we'll take a look at what comes in the box. Then I'll go through any assembly that needs to be done. And then after that, we'll do an overview of all of the unit's features, and then we'll put it to the test and try it out. So here's a look at what came in the box. So first up, we've got two 9 3/4 inch diameter wheels. So the inner part of the wheel is a hard plastic, and the outer part is more of a softer plastic. It isn't rubber. Next up is the pressure hose. Next up, we've got a bag that contains various bits of hardware, nozzles, and bracketry. This piece is a soap tank. This plastic cross piece holds all of the nozzles. And then of course we have the owner's and assembly manual here. This is the end of the cleaning wand that the nozzles will fit into. Over here is a wire bracket. And then here of course is the cleaning wand. And then of course we have the pressure washer itself, which is mounted in this metal frame. And then attached to the pressure washer is the AC mains cord with a GFI breaker at the end. And then we also have the metal handle with a foam grip that will mount to the frame eventually. I think we've got all the pieces and parts accounted for. Let's get this thing assembled. So the first step in the assembly process is to attach the upper panel to the handle. And to do that, I'm going to align these posts with the holes that are in the handle. And then I'll flip it over, and then I'll install the 4 coarse threaded machine screws through the hole into the posts. So next up, I'll install the hose hook. And I'm going to do that by clipping these ends of the hook into the holes that are in the plastic up here at the top of the upper panel. So I'll just squeeze this and get these to lock in place. And then I'm going to swing this down, and I'm going to spread the wire hook apart so that it goes under this plastic clip that's in the middle of the upper panel and locks into place. So next I'm going to install the spray gun holder. So this gets attached to the back of the handle where these 2 threaded inserts are located. I'm going to orient this so that the open end of the holder is facing down toward the table, and so that the wider end of the holder is facing up toward the grip on the handle. And then I'll install the 2 fine threaded machine screws into the 2 threaded inserts through the nozzle holder. So the next installation step, as shown in the manual, is to install the power cord hold downs. Now on my unit, these were already installed, so I don't have to do that. But if for some reason yours don't come installed, it looks like there's just a single screw that holds these on to the mounting frame. So next up, I'm going to install the upper handle assembly into the pressure washer frame. This just drops into place with these 2 push pins that lock into holes in the frame. Next up, I'm going to install the wheels. So I'm going to drop this axle through the center hole in the wheel, and then I'm going to drop the axle through this hole that's in the frame of the unit. So next up, I'm going to grab one of the spacers and slide that up over the axle, and then I'll grab one of these washers and slide that up over the axle, and then I'll grab one of the cotter pins and put that through the hole that's in the base of the axle to keep everything in place. Now I'll repeat the process on the other side. Next, I'll install this protective cap off the end of the wand, and then I'll install this on the end of the spray wand over this fitting. There's a couple of O-rings that I'll need to push this over, and then it should thread into place. So next up, I'll install the soap tank, and this just clips onto these 2 posts that are on the front of the unit. And then the hose for the soap tank just fits over this brass fitting that's on the side of the unit. Next up, I'll remove this protective cap from the fitting on the back of the machine, and then I'll install one end of the pressure hose into the fitting. Next, I'll remove the protective cap from the wand, and then install the other end of the pressure hose into the fitting on the wand. Now that I have the pressure washer assembled, I'll do a brief overview of all of its features. So starting at the top, of course, is the handle with the rubberized grip. This makes it easy to wheel this thing around the yard if needed. So here's a look at the pressure wand itself. It of course has a trigger on this end, and this end is where the nozzles clip in. So the pressure hose that connects the pressure wand to the pressure washer itself is about 25 feet long and fairly flexible. And as we saw in the assembly process, it coils up and stores up here on the back of the handle. And then wrapped up here on the holders at the bottom of the pressure washer is the line cord with integrated GFI. And then up here on the crossbar is the nozzle storage. Included with the kit is a 25-degree nozzle, a 40-degree nozzle, a soap nozzle, and this turbo nozzle. And we'll try these all out a little later in the video. And then taking a look at the main body of the unit, we have the on-off switch on the top, and it has a rubber protector guard around it to keep the water out. Down here is the water supply inlet, and this just connects up to a standard garden hose fitting. And as we saw during the assembly process, the soap tank is located down here and connects up to the pressure washer through this plastic tube and into a nozzle on the side of the motor. The whole unit is mounted to this metal frame, which keeps the center of gravity low and the unit protected. So what I'll do now is hook up my garden hose for a water source and plug this thing into an outlet, and we'll try it out. So I've got the pressure washer hooked up to my water supply and the AC mains. Now I'm going to install the 25-degree nozzle by pulling down on the chuck at the end of the pressure wand, just popping that in place and then letting that spring back up. With the water supply hooked up, but the pressure washer not powered on and energized, what I like to do is purge the air out of the lines by just squeezing the trigger and letting the water go through the system to get the air out. Once I get a steady flow of water with no more air coming out of the nozzle, then I know it's time to power up. So once I turn this on, it should run for a few seconds to kind of pressurize. Once the unit reaches pressure, it should shut off and then not turn on again until I squeeze the trigger and start using it. Okay, now that it's pressurized, let's give it a try. There's a little bit of green mold on the concrete down here. Let's see how the 15-degree nozzle does on it without any soap. Now because my house is green, it may be a little hard to see in the video, but there is green and sort of black mold on the siding here. So let's try out a few of the nozzles on here without any soap in the unit and see how they do. So I'll try out the 25-degree nozzle first, and I'll install that by just sliding down on the collar, pushing that in place, and then releasing it back. So I'll use the 25-degree nozzle here and here. So now I'll switch over to the 40-degree nozzle and use that here and here. So now we'll switch over to the turbo nozzle. This produces a circular sort of rotating, pulsating pattern. So it'll be interesting to see how it works on the siding. And I'm going to use the turbo nozzle here and here. So here's a look at the results. These two areas were done with the 25-degree nozzle, and as you'd expect, they are the cleanest by at least a little bit. These two areas were done with the 40-degree nozzle, and there's just a slight bit of evidence of the black mold still there. But the thing I liked about the 40-degree nozzle is that I was able to do the entire section of siding in sort of one pass, whereas with the 25-degree nozzle, because the fan width was narrower, I had to do 2 passes to get the siding. So even though this area is cleaner, this one's almost as clean, and there's significant time savings using the 40-degree nozzle over the 25. Now up here on this area, I used the turbo nozzle, and it's not quite as clean as the 40-degree area, but still pretty good. The thing I didn't like about the turbo nozzle is that I still had to make multiple passes like I did with the 25-degree nozzle, but the results aren't quite as good. So I think the turbo nozzle might be more useful on sort of loose dirt as opposed to mold, which is stuck right into the siding. So having said that, let's go over to my Suburban and take a look at that. There's some loose dirt on there that needs to be cleaned off. So I drove down the dirt road yesterday, and as you can see, there's some mud and dirt on the side of my Suburban here. Let's try that turbo nozzle on it and see what happens. Now let's see how it tackles the brake dust on my rim. Just for comparison, I'm going to switch over to the 40-degree nozzle and do a couple of these spokes here. So the turbo nozzle seemed to do pretty good on the door over here. Now, of course, the real stuck-on stuff is still there, which is what you'd expect, but it got all the loose stuff off with minimal amount of effort. And then over here on the wheel, I don't really see too much difference between the area I cleaned with the turbo nozzle and the 40-degree nozzle. But I liked the turbo nozzle a little bit better in this application because it seemed to distribute the force a little bit and wasn't so aggressive on the rim. Next up, we'll try out some soap. Now, the instructions on the front of the tank say that you should only use pressure washer detergent in here. So I've got some siding wash, which I believe should be okay in here. But based on what's recommended on the tank, I don't think I'd use something like car wash in here. So I've switched over to the soap nozzle, and now I'll spray down this area of the siding. Now, it will take a few seconds for the soap to start getting into the system, so it'll just come out straight water at first, but then it should start to foam up. So now that that's sat on the siding for a few minutes, I'll rinse it off with the 40-degree nozzle. And I don't have to do anything with turning off the soap tank or anything like that. I should be able to just put the higher pressure nozzle in, and after a minute or so, the soap will cycle out of the system and it'll be just pure water. So overall, I'm pretty happy with this Powerworks pressure washer. I like the form factor of this unit with the main body centered low in this steel cage with these nice big wheels so that I can drag it around the yard easily if I need to. I also like this turbo nozzle that they included. I think this will work well for washing cars. If you want to learn more about this pressure washer, there's an affiliate link down in the description below that will take you to its Amazon product page. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to leave a comment or subscribe, feel free to do that as well. If you'd like to support my channel in another way, please consider visiting my Amazon store, which is linked in the description below. Thanks for watching.